JToH. The Atlas of Duke's Tower of Hell is infamous for its difficulty in platforming industry of Roblox, from having difficulties from easy to catastrophic, where a selected few was able to reach that glory, as some may have to suffer through the consequence and times of blunders and failures from their own mistakes. But JToH also brings happiness and brings the community closer together. This video will describe the characteristics of each event evolving throughout the years and seeing change of gameplay, quality and creativity. This is the timeline of JToH Events. Disclaimer for this video, I'll be using other people's kits, giving them credit of course, by showing them on the bottom left of the screen. I will not include the April Fool's event because I feel like it doesn't fit for this video, and you know, it's a joke event. I will not go in depth about the laws of the characters for these JToH events like King Mihal on the Halloween event, for etc. This will be a summary event and not a walkthrough guide video on how to be an event. So it's just, you know, informative. It's informative content I'm making here. Halloween 2018 was released to the public on October of 2018 to late 2018. The event was called Heccfire Depths and it consisted of 3 steeples in the main lobby: Tower of Rising Molten Rocks, Tower of Button Venturing, and Tower of Retina Pain, all made by OpenTune/Kitty Cannon. You might be wondering why I call them steeples and not towers as suggested from their portal frame. Well, the word steeple was not announced for its definition for the game as a 5 to 6 field towers, and yes, these towers were quote-unquote steeple. However, to stop confusing you all for a bit, we'll just call them towers because of their portal frame. So first up, we have Tower of Rising Molten Rocks. It features a button you have to click on. Yes, I know, but technology wasn't there at the time. This causes the lava to rise up as you have to speedrun before the tower kills you. I can't believe Citadel of Peril would go and steal this from them. HMH. HMH? Why did I say HMH? I meant SM. Next is Tower of Button Venturing. This tower wants you to find 5 buttons around the tower so you are able to have access and get through to the wind pad. Here are some kits of me getting them. Even though there's 5 buttons that I need to get, there's only 4 I found. Where the fuck is the 5th one? However, you can skip it though. It's fine. It's fine. So what's the point of having 5? Finally, we have Tower of Retina Pain, where you're basically blind and the night around you displays the worst brightness of all time. Even the fucking reflection of the lava goes better. Basically, lava or don't touch the lava and you win. You also might hurt your eyes from increasing the brightness of your monitor too much just to see where to jump. Oh yeah, did I forget to tell you that you only have 20 minutes to beat the towers? Yep, you have a time limit, otherwise you die. You can't have access to the boss fight area. After going down here, you will be teleported to a new area called Janitor's Pocket Dimension. Entering the realm, you have to complete an obby before entering the boss fight scene. However, if you die in the obby, you die in real life. Wait. I mean, you get TP'd back in the JToH lobby and lose all of your progress and have to do it again. If you do beat it, you'll have to beat Slammo in 2 phases. The first phase is where you have to kill Slammo by killing him on these buttons that shoot out laser beams, photons, making Slammo lose 250 health. In retaliation, Slammo will attack you by shooting laser beams from his eyes and dropping balls of death to you. At 5000 health, this is where stage or phase 2 begins, and the only difference is that the ground turns into now chunks where you have to make sure do not fall and die. You have to obby your way through and pressing the buttons, dodging the lasers and falling balls. But after defeating Slammo, you have finished the Halloween event. Wow, it's getting a bit chilly here, isn't it? Let's switch to our next event. god, Christmas! Just a week away! This was the first annual Christmas event for JToH that started on Christmas Eve and ended on January 3rd. There were 2 tasks you would have to do for the event. Collect all guests scattered around in secret locations of towers and compete in the event area called the First Zone, where you had to do all 3 steeples and beat the boss in one sitting. And yes, this is where they now introduce the term steeple. First steeple we have here is Steeple of Amazing Gifts by Nato Mundo and Gamma, where the gameplay is literally what we expect 2018 gameplay to be. Actual mid compared to today's towers, but the gameplay is easy and you should be able to beat it. Second steeple is Steeple of Frantic Terrificness by Isidalt. The steeple also has buttons that we can walk on now, while the technology has changed from a short time. Most of the gameplay is alright until this fucking part on the outside that deserves to be hated on. Finally, we have Steeple of Christmas Chaos by 4 people: Chicories, the name is Jeff, Luto, Mundo, and Paramox. The steeple is way better than the other 2 in terms of gameplay, but how could they copy the Davo Rising feature? SMH. At least they changed the color to be unlike some Citadel who didn't even try and change the Davo color. I wonder who. After beating all 3 steeples, you get access to the boss fight area, Sprite Cranberry's Arena. This is where you have to fight the mechanical boss Sprite Cranberry by throwing Sprite Cranberry cans at him. I don't know why the devs thought it was a great idea, but okay. In retaliation, it drops balls of death from the sky and spills cranberry juice on the floor. If you touch them, you get damaged. It also jumps to the sky and falls to make sure you don't get hit. Well, for me, it didn't even land very high, and it will shoot turrets after beating the boss fight. After beating the boss fight, the event ends. You know what could end the coldest of this world? An explosion. The sun is shining, the flowers were blooming. The new year of 2019 comes by with a new event, the Easter event of 2019. Wait, looks like they have not meet the deadline of making it as an Easter event, so let's do a cool transition. It's now May 15th, 2019, and now the spring event is finally released to the public, so let's start. This area was called Beggmuda Triangle, which consisted of 3 steeples that you have to beat before accessing the boss. The 3 steeples are Steeple of Spring Jubilation, Steeple of Chaotic Hunting, and Steeple of Egg Searching. The task is to get 3 eggs from each tower by completing it. Steeple of Spring Jubilation was made by Crazy50, or what many people know him as Crazy Zombie 50. Gameplay starts with finding 5 eggs on the first floor. It's pretty much easy to find, whilst the gameplay of the tower overall is really good and not too challenging. But I must say, the detail of this tower is way better than the other 2 that we will get into detail soon. Steeple of Chaotic Hunting was made by our beloved itnear/itdice. At the start of the tower, it wants you to find 1 egg in the first floor, which there is a secret passage presenting you to a maze where you can find the egg. Overall, the tower is pretty much it. The gameplay was fun, detail was a bit lacking, but overall okay. But overall the fun is less than the next one we're going to talk about. Steeple of Egg Searches was made by a classic and famous duo, whose 4060 MMM. Each fill wants you to find either 1 egg or a selected few of eggs from each fill to have access to the next floor. You can tell the gameplay and detail it has that Goose 60mm vibe, with gameplay parts built like Tower of Leaning Ledges and slight gameplay from Tower of Stunted Anticipation. This steeple also features mini towers slash steeple gameplay. I don't know what to call them. Gameplay was fun, but the detail of spring themed tower was just not there. Connecting all 3 eggs, you have to go here, shown on the screen, and I'll let the cutscene play. Yep, that is a tsunami. That is the boss of this event. This is a tsunami, and you must get 3 items to escape. After getting these items so easily, just go through here and you escape and end the event. Yep, that is literally just the end of the event. Looks like Halloween comes back for another year with actually really cool steeples and a boss fight. This event started from October 29th, 2019 to November 11th, 2019. The event name was called Abyssal Badlands. I don't know what this means, but okay. I must say that this lobby is 10 times better than last year's, and this is the first event to have a save system. As now the gameplay time for the events are quite long. Okay, let's go to the steeples, and the steeples name are Steeple of Tricks and Treats, Steeple of Haunted Traversing, and Steeple of Midnight Terrors. So let's start. Steeple of Tricks and Treats were made by the famous slow duo Array and Dion. This steeple is quite interesting as it's the first event steeple to introduce sideways gameplay and not vertical. This steeple is more than just raw gameplay. This is more like an adventure puzzle tower where they are more flexible in terms of progress. There's no falls you can do basically. The tower has 10 houses that you need to explore with dialogue. I advise you to read, by the way, where you have to get 15 items to beat a steeple, but all houses are different with its unique style, so be aware. Steeple of Haunted Traversing was made by Theodoric and Timtom. This tower is basically cool with its design around Halloween, even though the gameplay might be, you know, less detailed. I actually enjoyed the gameplay and that's basically enough for me. Steeple of Midnight Terrors was made by Gamamator. Gameplay starts with finding 2 keys to enter a mansion where you have to connect other keys to open up the mansion more and more, etc, etc. Later you'll be able to go outside and ascend to the sky, platforming of course. Beware of the spinning collidable wall on the top and final floor and you'll beat it basically. After beating 3 steeples, there's a passage that's opened called Haunted Caverns, which has fractured versions of Ring 1 and Ring 2 lobby. Just complete the obby shown by them to access the boss fight. The boss is Totem, where the boss has 10 phases, 1 for each floor. The tower has turrets, lasers and more that will shoot out and hopefully for you it will be a perish. However, you have a cannon and pumpkins you have to connect to then shoot and the turret to the turrets the floor has. Removing all the turrets will move to the next phase. And yes, the intensity difficulty increases for each phase you passed on. After beating the boss, there's one final obby you have to do and you win. And that's pretty much it for Halloween event 2019. Now let's go to the mini event. This was the mini event for JToH Americans out there. It was held from November 26, 2019 to December 3rd, 2019. This event only features 1 tower in the Ring 2 lobby called Tower of Autumn Harvest. So let's start. Tower of Autumn Harvest was made by a lot of people that outlist the list of names of. As you guess, this tower is autumn themed, with each floor being the creator's twist on the tower. After floor 10, there is a boss fight of the Mega Turkey apparently, with 3 phases. Just survive, don't die, attack and win, voila. Like I said, this was a mini event and so the event gameplay was probably like 1 to 2 hours or maybe even less. But that's basically it and on to the final event. Christmas 2019 event was lasted from December 24th, 2019 to January 7th, 2020. It added a temporary event sub-realm located in Ring 1 called Snowy Cabins, which contained 4 event steeples and a boss fight. Similar to before, but instead of 3, there's 4. How interesting. It also has obtainable presents you can find in the lobby in Ring 1 subrealm. Are 4 steeples that I'm going to mention for this subrealm. Steeple of Evergreen Essentiation, Steeple of Festive Factory Infiltration, Steeple of Joyous Voyage, and Steeple of Nightmare Before Christmas. Steeple of Evergreen Association was a ascension-based steeple made by Nightsif, Kaloi, Nogix, and Amos. This steeple is basically you're in a tree, the frame is a tree, and your task is to reach the star above the tree. This steeple is really cool as it combines the gameplay and creativity with also the community together. Like for example, the gifts. You can see there are names from the JToH community members, which are very popular, and you know, I found that really awesome. Steeple of Festive Factory Infiltration was made by its PR3D and some person's name, which is called 21474836447. Don't tell me what that's their name, it just is. And you know, this steeple, I actually like this steeple. This steeple is really cool, the design is cool, the gameplay could be a bit better, but the creativity was there. I love the design of this steeple, so if you do more, that's very cool. Next is Steeple of Joyous Voyage, made by Punky and Urchin. This steeple, I really like the design. The design and detail of this steeple is very Christmassy, I enjoyed it. The gameplay could be a bit better, but I like the use of client objects they used for this steeple. And overall the gameplay was alright. It's not bad, but it's not good at the same time. Steeple of Nightmare Before Christmas, made by Crazy50, or people know him as Crazy Zombie 50, and Kroku, the dinosaur person. I have nothing to say about this steeple. It's like other steeples in this area, except for some reason it was broken for mobile users. Many people do not know why, even the wiki says they don't know why. But yeah, PC user superior, I guess. Defeating all 4 steeples, you are able to enter the boss fight. The boss fight is JToH with its amazing skill. Literally, the mechanic of JToH's attacks is actually good. Your task is to kill him by throwing snowballs. I don't know how snowballs can kill JToH, but apparently it does. Also, you can play this solo or duo. If you play with multiple people, of course the health will increase. So yeah, basically make sure not all of you die at the same phase or time, because that's when the boss fight wins, when the boss wins, and then you have to restart it again. So yeah, this boss for duo shown on the screen is 225,000 health, and it has many attacks like throwing orbs, shockwaves, jumps up, jumps down, making Christmas sounds, pretty much. So yeah, cool fights, probably the best fight of 2019 to be honest. And yeah, we'll go and finish this video. Thanks for watching part 1. Hopefully I can finish the JToH Events series in part 2. Then yeah, I want to say goodbye and have a great day.